I have a new strategy, and that strategy is to start the stream on time, whether I am ready or not. Oh, and that's what we're doing. What can I say? I'm just so busy. I'm so popular and busy. Is this thing off? Wait. Silent. It's off. Good. Right now, we don't have anybody watching right now, but does that matter? No, it doesn't matter. We had one person, I probably freaked that person out and they left, which is normal. One day I'll look back on this and smile. Okay, probably for the best. There we go, Pete! Poop, exactly. That was exactly what was on my mind too. Now, why is that image not, okay. This, I'm going to change this image. Browse. And what we're going to do, I'm going to actually put the still life that I am working on in this picture. There we go. And I will change the name. Done. So that I know what this is. Rename. Call it. Skull image, let's just say that. Pete, how's it going, man? Hey, Clara. Clara Larake. Am I saying that right? Larake, Larase? Oh, it's you, Clara. It's the same Clara. How do you say your last name? Larse or Larke? Larke? This is dangerous. Whenever I have to go into the realm of pronunciation, I just do not pronounce things correctly. Move this down. That's good. Move this up. All right, I think the stream looks good here. What do y'all think? I'll remove this here. Move this down some. Dang it. Alt. Bring it out. Alt. Needs to go more. Boom. Struggling to get it started this morning. What are you talking about? Me? Never struggling. It's probably my problem. I never struggle. I need to struggle more. Yeah, it's a bad pig Latin. Yeah, same Clara. Actual last name is Gary. I know, that's what I've been reading, but did you change it on there? Okay, need to work on a cast drawing and long posing. Currently trying to warm up with a short pose. Yep. I hear you. So I'm going to try to get this proportionally what I'm going to see. So this is what we're working with, guys and ladies. And probably compositionally, I probably want it something like this. Oh, I need to plug the computer in. I forgot to plug this in. Something like that. Okay. Well, it's going to be wider, so I mind bringing this out just a little bit. It's going to be wider. Something like that is probably it. But just for the sake of the reference right now, I'm just going to bring this in some. Okay. So that's roughly, I'm going to bring this down. Maybe there. Maybe here. And that, the setup looks pretty good. I really like how this looks. This is going to be fun. And wait, what did I do? Okay. Put this down here. So this is what we're working with. So that's what I'm looking at. And I'm going to get in probably Discord in a second, speak with whoever. Not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Such viewers will experience buffering. Damn. I wonder why that's happening. See how far behind we are. We're about 6 or 7 seconds behind. That's okay. 10 tops. All right. Well, we'll make do with this, but for some reason there's some latency issues. I'm not sure I can help that today. It's just kind of happening. It's not coming from my computer. It's just the service, I guess, which I have good service, but sometimes this happens. So anyway, all right, here's what we're gonna do. So I actually did wait to set my easel up because I want y'all to see how I do that. All right, so I'm gonna be messing with the camera some, and it's gonna get a little bit iffy at first, like a little chaotic, but once we paint, have everything settled in, then I'll get some painting done on this sucker. So okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring this up. Come on. There you go. Bring that up. 1 second. Put that there. Okay. Now. Okay. This over here. Fridge. Colors. I always set this right over here. Okay. Bring this down some. I'm going to prepare the palette. So we're just going to go straight into painting with this. I'm not going to do any preliminary drawing. I never do that. Ever. So that's what we are going to do. Make sure this is correct here. It's falling over. Sorry. Got it? There we go. I'd say that's good. We'll go from here. All right, so we got black. This is cobalt. Don't really need cobalt. Need to get some alizarin crimson on there. Got my purple. And I'll leave the cerulean there because I don't really need that. That's for the other painting landscape. Cadmium red. We got orange, which is a mixture of cadmium red, yellow ochre, which is that. Don't need, actually, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take some cadmium yellow. That's going to be good for the green. I'll create a nice deep dark, a rich dark with it. I am out of white there, so I'll just screw that up. Let's see, what colors can we use for this? I'm not going to use these for 2 days. I'll use these. I'll just convert these. Okay. These are flesh tones, kind of. Let's do that. Lighten. I can lighten this. That kind of works. Flesh tones, flesh tones, flesh tones. But see, I can modify these colors so they don't go to waste, right? So they don't go to waste. There we go. It's black, red, and yellow, and this is black and red. There we go. And bring this color down, these colors down here too, because I can mix them kind of in with that. And take this one. We don't need, See, we got green here, actually. This is a deep dark green, kind of. That might be a little bit light for what we need. And those greens I'll keep there. These are roses, which I need to scrape those off because she's out of town at the moment. Okay, put this back in the fridge. There. Make sure it's shut. It is not. Okay, now we have Creminence white, lead white. This is very thick. I really put a bit on. I'll probably have to get more later. You know, here's the thing. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start painting, but I'm not going to throw color down at first or the light values or anything. I'm just going to go into it with the black and red, which is essentially that. So really, all I had to do was this, but I still need the colors for painting later on today. So I just kind of thought about that, but you know, it's still good for you guys to see how I place the colors on the palette, even though I've done a video on it, showed you all several times, but it always helps. Now this Georgian is normally good. This tube is not that great. They kind of gave me an old tube, but this is I got this a couple of years ago, stopped using it because it was kind of kind of pasty, and it's not the right consistency, and normally it is. I don't know why they did that, but I can use it for the starting layers and such. Got alizarin crimson, but I don't really need that. I'm just going to go in, let's see, get some cadmium red, and honestly, so I got the white there. This is really all I need. Honestly, all I need is black and red to start with, and so I'll show you guys how I start. You've seen it in the videos before, but you get to see it in person now, which is kind of cool. All right, I think that's it, and I'm going to get some walnut oil. This stuff, though, I can't tell, it's a little bit old, so I'm just going to clean this out. Like, I've been using it, it's not old, it's just a little bit muddied, and I ran out of the oil, so let me just clean this. It'll only take a second. I pretty much did it just now. Let's get through one more wipe. Just take the old stuff I have here. Bazing! Here we go, guys. And I'm sorry, I'm not reading chat at the moment. I'm away from the computer. Like I said, I'm going to get in Discord in a second. Switch the audios out. All right, so palette cup on. And we have some fresh walnut oil. I'm going to put just a tad bit in there. I really don't use much. I just need it, you know, just use it accordingly. I paint very thin at first just to get the drawing. That's the main thing. Even though this is going to be a quick painting, the main thing is the drawing. Just think if you knew exactly where to place everything. You just had to trace it on. You said, put this color here, put this shape here. Life would be easy. It's all about drawing. All right, so. All right, guys. Are we ready? I think we are also. Okay. Also, okay, Pete's working on a commission. All right, man. Did you tell us what commission that was? I feel like you did. I have 2 YouTube accounts, actually a bit more than that. This is my older one. Gotcha. Okay, because, all right, yeah, your icon was different yesterday, I remember. Or, I'm sorry, 2 days ago. Beatles. Alla prima. Buongiorno, Quildarius. You need to do a limited palette, Zorn. Yeah, I could do that. I'm too good for a limited palette, though. That's how we learned, though. That was the Zorn palette. That's how we learned. All right, guys. You used to cook with walnut oil. Cool. Okay. Okay. Rearrange the cameras. I'm going to bring this camera out so you see the main shot, and I'm going to move this easel around, then I'm going to switch the lens on, get a more close-up shot once we have the easel set up, and that's how we're going to do it. All right, guys, so there was a little bit of a delay. I have it set on low latency, but there's like a 10-second delay or something. This is not bad. It's just hopefully it doesn't get worse. All right. Let's sew this up, bring this up. right there. All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to bring this down to there. I think that's good. All right, so that image of the still life is, I actually put a link to it so you guys can draw along if you want. See, I'm prepared. I'm prepared. Okay. Now, let's actually, this might not be good. I bring this here, twist it. Okay, this is actually perfect right there. That's what I want. I want to show you guys kind of what I'm doing here. This is going to be worth it. This is totally worth it. Let's do, yeah, we'll do kind of a double image here. That's kind of cool. But I'm going to bring, okay, so there's the setup. So you can kind of see where the easel is in relation to the still life. Do you see that? And I'll move it around some too. Let me focus in just a little bit. Focus that. Okay. Right. I'll say there. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, so here's what we want to do. Crap. Wait, I need to move something. Do that. Okay. Sorry, because I needed to stand there. That's why. So I need to stand there. Let me refocus this. So no! Sorry, I'm trying to give you guys a seizure. That's what I'm trying to do here. So you can like go and talk about it with your friends and say, oh my gosh, I just like blacked out. It was awesome. Here we go. Okay. So there's a reason why I'm showing you guys this. There is. As in all things I do, there is a freaking reason. This might fall. Okay, that's fine. All right, here's what we do. We have to get that to there. All right, so what we do, we first, if we're going to do sight size, you guys know this, but at some point maybe somebody else will be watching. So if I see from the bottom of the skull all the way to the top of the tree, this is stupid freaking stay box. All right, it's about like I see it that big, so then I superimpose it over onto the board. This actually works because on the board this is the size that I see it, right? Your vision kind of goes bang, and so it needs to go, but it needs to go directly across. Now, if I was a midge, which I'm not, I'd be looking up at it and be able to see it better, but I'm looking down. This board is too low, so I need to bring this up. And this actually is a pretty good distance away. Like if I move it closer, if I move this board closer, the image will become smaller on this because I'm drawing the same size that I see it. If I move it back, the image will become bigger. So you want to get it compositionally correct. That's why I thought I'd have to move the easel around some. I might move it in some that way, but the other thing is I have to make sure that the light goes on it because if I bring it over too far this way, there's a little cross of light. In fact, there might be still. No, we're good. Okay. Now, I'll raise it up in a second. That's what I do. I lift things up. Okay. Now, I'm going sideways, so the how wide I see it, this is actually really good. Okay, now I'm going to say, okay, I want probably something. You know what? This is like really good. This is perfectly placed already. Like this distance away from it is good. All right. So and also I have tape. So I stand, what I normally do, I don't stand like this. So like, this is the spot I stand right there. I have it marked, okay? It's about that far away. So right now, this is kind of how it looks. This is what I'm looking at right here. Now, this pine cone, this little thing, I might move that way just a little bit. Just a little bit, okay? But this is how far I stand. Normally what I do, I stand and I kind of lean into it with this hip here. And the reason why I do that is because sometimes if you do this, I mean this works too, but like if I do this, I'm kind of planted more. I don't know, it's just what I do. So I kind of put one foot in front, one foot in back, and I put this foot right here. That's kind of how I stand. In that manner, I'm not standing closer or further back, okay? So that's kind of the idea behind it. That's what I was taught. I forget who taught me that. I mean, I might have taught myself because I've, you know, basically invented art anyway, so. And oil painting. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so now I just need to lift this up. So I want it straight across. So it needs to go up just a little bit. I'm going to try to just lift this up first, but I might need to put a board underneath it because this only goes up so high. I think actually this might suffice. Boom! Something like that, and there's actually very good light on. Wait a second. No, we're good. Whew, close call. I thought there was light coming and hitting it, but there's not. See, if I did that, see this curtain? It kind of, well, you can't tell, but yeah. I got it planned down here. Okay, shoot straight across. Okay, that's straight across to the top. Goes down about yay. Yay, yay, yay. You know, I can block it in. Sometimes I move it forward. So what I'm going to do now, like you want to stand, you want to be standing so like you're directly in between the two, more or less. And so, you know, ideally too, like if the still life was a little bit closer, like I'd just be standing right here, but just right in between the two. Now I'm going to, because I'm close to it, I don't want to have any warp on the board. So it's casting a shadow here. I think y'all can see that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip this right here. Right. See, that's better. Kind of. I'm going to just press down. Damn it. Bring it back up. Make sure this is taut. There we go. Bitch. Yeah. All right. Now, like I said, we're going to turn it ever so slightly, just so it's like facing me just a little bit. You don't want to turn it too much. But it needs to be straight on, so I'm not like drawing at an angle. Not that it really matters that much. Well, it kind of does. I'm going to turn it just a little bit more, perhaps. Just a hair. Yeah, I make sure the light doesn't like darken on it too. Let me catch up on this 1 second. So see chat. Oh, and then I'll bring this over there. Let me do that in fact right now, then I'll catch up. Oh! Yeah. Wait, that's not where I want it. I want it here. In which case this can still stay there. Do that. Good, 81 percentile. My channel. I haven't caught up on the chat, but I saw Queldar say the stream is much more organized than the last. It's not even coming up on my thing. Like, I don't know what's wrong. Whatever. Okay. It doesn't seem organized. Yeah, Claire, I hear you on that. You got Inktober. These prompts are too demanding. Clara, it's easier to sight size with a marked up canvas. If it were plain, well, it's a lot less fun. Art Now has a copyright. Damn right it does. Okay, all right, we're good. I think. See, wait a second. Wait, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I clicked on. Such a boomer. There we go. Now it's up. Fine. Make sure this is sound is off. Okay. Make sure this doesn't fall. Clasp it in there for good measure. We're good. Now, so this is the setup. And we're about to get started. I'll move the cameras around and get it optimized for, so that's it right there. And you can see, let's see if we can, come on. So that's where, like, I'm standing that one right there. That's where my foot kind of goes, and so I'm kind of like looking that way. That's how it looks. Okay, I might adjust the pine cone a little bit, but it's not going to affect your picture, obviously, because it's static. I don't know what I pressed. Wait, there, it's off. But I need to do it for my purpose, because I actually took the photograph in where I want it to be, like in relation to the pine cone. I just need to bring the pine cone in some. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Now, I don't think I need that out. I might move the easel some here and there, just a little bit. Sometimes I slightly adjust as I start. You don't want to, but if you get it in the beginning, you can still make those subtle changes. But it's very important to get the setup right in the beginning. And sometimes I've actually blocked everything in and realized that things need to shift. And it's good to know how to do that. And I've shown you guys how to do it. I'll probably have to do it in this one. But the idea behind this is that I'm going to do my best to block this in the most that I can today. I'm going to start with color. I might start with color before the streams because I want to get this thing done. So y'all might see, you know, increments of this. It might not be absolutely everything. Let's see how this looks. Okay, so bring this up here. Let's see if I can bring this back here like that. And bring this over again. Okay, I think this should be okay. I'm gonna try to bring this back just a little bit more. Move this chair. There. Okay, now I'm just gonna go back some. This chair stays there. See, I have a system I've developed. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Well, let's start something like this. And it is going to be a slight angle, but I just want to make sure that I don't block it. Normally, so I have it set up, obviously, to my left shoulder. Normally, I have it set up on my right, because when I go and paint, sometimes I'm like this. And it's probably blocking the camera partially. But if I paint like this, it should be okay, because it's enough to that side. But there's a little bit of a warp to it. I could put the camera over there. I might do that next time. I'm not sure. See, these are the things you got to think about. It's like, and I'm not calling game streamers' jobs easy, but one of the things that is cool is they don't need to worry about this as much. But they do have really cool setups and stuff, like cameras on them and lighting in the background. But having to stream art is a little bit difficult, especially when you take into account the reflection of paint and what have you. Okay, so if I'm here, you see how that small camera looks. going back and forth. Okay, I don't mind that so much. I think that's probably an okay setup because you can see me here going up, but let's turn it maybe just a little bit. So you can see me just a little bit more, something like this. Okay, that's off. So here, going up there. Yeah, that's fine, it works. Okay, we'll do that. So this is gonna be the setup for now. Okay. Scappa! Yeah, I saw you signed up, man. Thank you so much. That's really cool. I really appreciate that. Scappa, you live close by, don't you? I think you do. You said you live close by. So let me catch up on chat and then we're going to get started, guys. I know this is, you know, not doing bad. 30 minutes to set up and explain that stuff, get the camera's position. That's okay. I'll work on getting it better. I was thinking, canvas, playing. Yep. Fighting our computer overlords every Tuesday and Thursday. Marking where you are standing, there are not the kinds of things I would think about when doing a life drawing, but makes so much sense it does. I'll talk about that in a second. Are we in the Matrix? Maybe. Pinehurst, so not close, but yeah. Well, I was gonna say, I am like, it's gonna be over Zoom, and I'm gonna be on Zoom the whole time during the course. But also for the people who are close by, they're welcome to come and draw in my studio. So you are welcome to come and draw if you had the time. Though it's like 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I drew you as my warm. Did you just now? Okay, let's get started. So here's what we're gonna do. We have to have a plan, right? And first off, yes, Clara. Like, because if you go forward, you know, to our eye, everything gets bigger. You go back, it gets smaller, right? That's how it works. And so you're going to have, when you're trying to get the precise level of detail that we genius painters get, easily, you know, that's going to affect it. And you can't have that. You have to have everything perfect and precise. And so you want to get back in the same place. So I have this spot right here I lock in now. If it was a larger painting, it's a bigger painting, I'm stepping back further, but this is a good painting, right? Like you don't want to be too close up. You want to be at least about 6 feet away. Which would be back here. But I'm going to do it from here. because I'm good and I know what I'm doing. Yeah, Pete, I want to see it too. Much appreciated, but I'll likely stick with Zoom. Good. I'm glad you are, because I don't want to see your face. Just kidding. Because I want to get experience with Zoom, and you can help me with that. And I knew you'll be patient with me because I have not worked with Zoom yet. And by the way, guys, as if I do not have enough on my plate, I wanted to ask you guys, I want to do a short. What topic do you want to see for a short? Give me a topic. Give me a topic. I know you've given me topics before. I probably have it written down here. Probably do. The last one I did was how to clean the brushes. All right, so why do I start with black and red? It's a very transparent color. It's a warm color, and it looks good when you paint on top of it. It gives it some warmth. Right? Which means, you know, when especially in the initial phases, when you're mixing between colors, you're losing color. It looks grayed out, but that warmth underneath it gives it a little bit of a kick. Just a slight bit. That's why I like it. But it works. It works. It's simple. It's easy. You know. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. And hey, I'm going to hop in Discord in a second because I feel like talking. with some human, but let me make sure my cord reaches, okay? Because I don't want to pull the whole setup down. In fact, I might have an extension, do I? All right, so red. Let me see this. Let me check the cord first. I'm sure it does. This cord's a long cord, which is why I like this headset. Types of edges. Types of edges. Where are you on about, Pete? Oh, this is definitely gonna. Oh, this is. Oh, it's easy. Let me untangle this really quick. Shouldn't take long. Take this off first. There we go. All right. There we go. All right, so yeah. So essentially what I'm going to do, okay, I'd like a short with a speed up of your laying down the paints for skin tones. The way you laid the paints for the skin in the commission piece was pure magic. So you want a short where it's like a sped up version of me painting or blocking in a face. Is that it? Or skin tones. What do you say? It's a sped up paints, skin, laying down your paints for skin tones. Okay, I mean, I can do that. Someone like edges, good. Maybe a primer. Oh, edges. You're talking about, Pete, you're talking about a short, like how to do edges. Is that it? Or, I'm sorry, Randall. Maybe a primer on hands. Kind of like how to do hands. Someone like me who is used to spending ages to achieve that look, I think it's really cool to see how you make it so effortless. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I could do that. Do really well for a short and just include a short voiceover explaining on why it's important to have the perfect mixed colors beforehand. Huh. Well, okay, this is kind of like, okay. That makes sense, that makes sense. All right, I can do that. I don't know if I can get that done today. See, what I'm trying to do, guys, is I'm trying to learn a lot with this class, trying to fill it so that I can do YouTube and get this stuff going. So once I get the class thing set up and once that gets, rolling, it's one less thing that I have to like spend as much time on. I still have to spend time on it if I want it to be good, but yeah, so that's something I would love to do something like that. That would be pretty cool, actually. Okay, I'm not going to spend all day with this. This is long enough anyway. All right, hey, I'm going to switch the audio right quick. All right, so I'm going to go dark just for a second. Give me a second here, and then we're going to start painting. And hopefully that cord does not interfere with the palette. I have not done that yet. Quildarius, if you want to hop in, love to chat. Need to talk. Need human interaction. All right, switching the audio out. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go dark just for a second. I'll come right back. Okay, wait. Is it speakers, microphone? Okay, 1, 2. That's it. And then shut this off. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Okay, y'all can hear this probably. This. Set up. Okay. There we go. This is actually perfect. This is a long cord. Hopefully this does not interfere with the painting. I don't think it will. Just need to make sure it doesn't catch on anything here. How do you get in Discord? Well, you gotta click on that app, Pete. So I blend my colors on my pieces. You have to double click on, like, you'll see LGA, and you click on that and double click on general on the chat. All right, here we go. Like I said, I might change this around some. I might. So I'm going to stay in here and make sure. All right, so I'm going to stay in here. Give me a second here. Let me pull something up. Sorry, about to start. There. All right. So the main thing is I'm going to mark top, bottom, left, and right of everything that I'm doing. All right, I'm going to try to place where I want the skull, all that stuff, all that good stuff. Okay. And not a good start. So side size, the reason why this is great. So I'm standing back here, and this is where I see roughly the skull. Now, is that where I want it? I don't know, and I might move that up. I might move it down. In fact, I'm just going to put that palette there. This there. I have no idea. I don't normally carry that. So at first, this is how I am. I'm just standing here. This is my eraser. Okay? Okay? Top of the skull. Okay. Pine cone, I'm actually going to move in just a little bit. Okay, that's fine. Let's say the edge of it is going to be somewhere around right here. Compositionally, that's where I want it. I can move the painting if it needs to be elsewhere. Here's one of the nuts. Okay, so the nuts. So y'all see what we're doing? We're starting very broad, and we're going to slowly shrink everything down into it. All right, so if this is here, then I'm thinking, okay, well, the skull. Oh my gosh, sorry. Skull, side of the skull is right here. Sorry, I've just been drinking beer all morning. And then we have top of the trees, which is somewhere around here, probably. All right, so then the base of the tree, if that is correct, would be around right here. Now, am I just going to start saying, okay, got this blacked in, now let's go through it in detail? No, not. No. Don't touch you nothing. You blend your colors on your pieces. I know that's bad practice. I like to screw up as I go. We all do. So, Clara, it's actually not a bad thing when you're getting the impression. It's not a good thing. No, I'm not going to say that. When you're first starting, and I'll show you how I do this, I'm going to do a lot of blending. Okay? I'll do a lot of blending. And if y'all don't see it, I'll make a video of it and I'll show it in there. Okay? But there's going to be a lot of blending. At first. Alright, that's just how it's going to be at first. Let's move the skull over just a little bit there. Move this over some. Alright, so we're making these shifts. And so what do? I press my thumb into it like that. Erase. It's fine. That works. Alright? That's how we do. Alright. Just start freaking throwing it down. Throw it down. Right there. It's gonna come up some. See, we have, it's just like in drawing, right? Just like in drawing. We have the eraser in left hand, brush in right, vice versa. And we just go at it, right? So our goal is to mentally superimpose what we see over there onto here, observing it from back there, drawing up, coming up, walking right here, putting it down. What does that do? It increases the visual memory. Go in general chat, Pete, and we'll choose, and he will choose you to be in his almighty chat. Claire, do you want to come in too? You and Pete? Come on, Clara. Come on, Clara. Do the right thing, Clara. All right. So like totally, I'm thinking of the composition as I go here. I'm really thinking, okay, like what, you know, what would look good? You know, where things should go. Where should they go? So I'm looking, freaking. I'm catching on my pants. Okay, we're back. So I'm looking also at, I'm looking at this shape here, and then I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's this, here's a shape here. It kind of comes down like that, right? So I'm trying to look at these big shapes. I'm not thinking, okay, draw a tree, now draw a skull. I'm not thinking that. I don't have the server info. Yeah, you do, because you already went, you've been in here, Pete. You've been in there. It's LGA, but I can repost it for you if you want, but you're gonna have to give me a second because I want to get started because I got started a little bit late. All right, so this piece here, it's kind of coming down. It kind of comes up to the top. So, and now here's the thing. Here's the thing. You got the walnut there. We have to think, okay, is that the composition we want, right? Because it's very easy for me to move this at this point, and that's you want to keep the simplicity of you want to be able to move it, right? So straight across. Here's what I'm gonna do. Just a little. Now, let me adjust the video. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, 1 second, Pete. 1 second, buddy. Thank you, Queldar. Good man. And Queldar, you can hop into. Clara, get in. I want to talk to you, Clara. And let me move this up some. Camera goes up just a little bit. Okay. Hey, Queldar. How's it going, buddy? Doing great, man. So what are you doing? Cool. This is harder than it looks to do this. We're just gonna keep it there, that's fine. Okay. What'd you eat? La pasta. Alright, la pasta. Cool. La pasta. What type of sauce? Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. It's a very good combination. Awesome. Okay. So essentially, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I am obviously I'm blocking this in, but I'm also waiting to place, like, I'm going to mark the easels, and the easel, like, I'm going to kind of mark where it is on this piece right here and down there, because I'll be using this easel for other things and I need to get back in place, right? So you don't want to have to go and reset up every time. So it's very important, and masking tape works the best. Duct tape, don't use duct tape. Duct tape does not come off. Masking tape, if left on for a long time, might stay, but you know. Okay. And I'm making sure everything, just double checking everything in the beginning goes a very long way. Alright, so this is going to come up just a slight bit here, and this is going to come down just a little bit here. Just a little. So that's kind of how it is, and this is okay. Here's the thing. Even though this is close to the top, it will still work for a painting this size, but also you have to think the composition, not just of positioning, like where the objects start and stop, but the light on them, because this is going to fade into the darkness up here, so there's going to be a nice balance of light around this area right here, and I can slowly bring light up here to compositionally balance the painting off to how big the size is of the painting. Does that make sense? So there's a balancing act you do with this, and this painting is going to be a little bit more creative. Creative? I don't know why I'm pronouncing it. Anyway, it's going to be a little bit more creative than I normally do, which is going to be a nice, it's a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Right, exactly. So here's the thing, like, you put in what's relevant in the paint. So we have the shadow, we got the skull here. This is roughly about how big it is. And so then we have the shadow coming here, and then we have the pine cone, which I said I wasn't going to paint. But that's okay. Put it in about something like that, right? Somewhere in there. I can move that around. But we're just trying to get the relationship correct. Now, we have the pine cone here, and this is kind of cool. It comes down, like there's a line coming down, so you have to get this relationship correct. So this actually might, I wonder if that's going to be too low. No, it's not. This is going to work. Okay, so this is roughly where the nut is. Maybe, wait, it goes up just a little bit. I think I might have brought it down too much, so just shed this up. So thing, and you know, again, guys, if you're doing this academically, you want to copy absolutely every single angle because it's practice. Like when you're starting, that's what I recommend. But if you want to move things around as you go later on, you can do that as long as it's in the ballpark and you're not fighting the setup too much. So yeah, if like as you go, you might find that something, you know, I'm like, oh well, if I just move this over just a little bit, it'll help things, then I'll do it. But it's like, you know, if it's like a big change you wouldn't want to do is like totally shifting the direction of the skull, you know, like in your mind or something. That's something different, right? Like you want to create as much of the composition, make it beautiful as you can in the actual setup, because that will make the better painting. Well, one of the things I like about this with the cobwebs is that the cobwebs are giving it a sense of three-dimensionality as they come forward. It kind of like is coming out and grabbing the skull. That's what I like about this painting. So it has a lot of potential. All right, guys, so let's do this. Start doing a little bit of, I'm just going to start squinting down, seeing the light shapes, and I can still move these shapes as I go. Now, I want to ask myself, is this too low down? I don't think it is. I think the cobwebs here are going to balance the painting out properly. Is it too big, too large on the in the scene. I don't think it is either. I think that once, because we're going to have this kind of fade down here. That's going to be fading down. Excuse me, we'll say. Ooh. Ooh. Excuse me. It's going to be fading down. All right, so. There you go, buddy. All right, so look to your left. You see LGA? That's what you click on, and then obviously I think Queller dragged you down. Yeah. So you should see general, and then you see text and then hashtag general. It's under text channels, which means it's confusing. That's, well, for future reference, I'm saying. Okay. I'll fix that. I know exactly what that should be. I know what that should be. Can't hear any of the interesting people. Yeah, okay, I see what's going on, I think. Give me a sec. Oh, wait. How's that? Speak.
Hello.
There we go. That's it. Let me see if I need to bring that down some. Say something again, Queldar.
Hey, everybody. Like and subscribe.
There you go. Okay. Is he at a good level, or was he too loud? Thanks, Queldar. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, is the volume okay on it? Does it need to go up or down?
Seems like we're okay.
Yeah, okay. Just let me know if something's said that I miss it. Sometimes I'm a little bit late, but I do have the chat set up here, guys. I'm going to be, just because I have them in chat does not mean I'm not paying attention to that. It's multitasking. I'm getting better at it with this stuff. All right, so let's get back to it. All right, I need to get my painting mindset here. Painting mindset, activate.
That's right, Clara.
Balance it off.
I saw Yuri in Discord. I wonder if he's
really?
joining.
What, was he in Discord?
The stream. Yeah, Discord, yeah.
Oh, I see him too. He's on his phone.
He's stalking.
On his
Lurking,
phone?
I mean.
He's LARPing or larking?
Lurking.
I thought you said LARPing, live action roleplay.
No, that's nerd speak. I don't know what that means.
You know what it means because you just said nerd speak. Boom. Outsmarted.
Nerd speak. I know just what you're saying.
Hey, have y'all seen Role Models? I think what's his name, John?
Yeah. Where they do the LARP thing.
Exactly.
That's a bad movie. You shouldn't use that as an example.
It's a horrible
movie. Does it upset you that they misrepresent your kind? Well,
burn.
All right, I see how it is.
Roll, kids, stop, drop, and roll.
I love that movie. I related to it so much.
I'm surprised you've seen it, Louis.
What do you mean, surprised I've seen it? I was watching it the other day when I was working out. It was great.
I'd work out and I'd watch movies.
I
I'm
do.
Batman.
I do. It was great, man. I enjoy it. It wasn't on Netflix. It was at my parents'.
Spice. It was on Spice Channel. Nobody knows that one. Am I dating myself at this point?
Spike TV, right?
Spice.
Spice?
Oh, Spice. Oh, okay.
Spice was the pornography I was subjugated to as a child by my neighbors who would sit me down and lock their doors in their house and force me to watch porno.
Would they really?
I think they just turned into a therapy session.
Would they really?
Now, we're not going to get that deep. You don't want to go there, buddy. You
All
don't wanna
right.
go there.
Tell me, how does that make you feel, Pete?
Clara, that's fine.
Yeah.
Clara just called you Quadarius. I like Clara. Like
I know,
Clara.
your influence is so great, Louis.
What's that supposed to mean?
She was calling me Eddie for like half a second, and then it went straight back to Quadarius.
Because it didn't feel right, did it? I know you're fighting to be called
Never does.
Eddie.
Never feels right. You know, I try to give people good advice. I was down at the Dollar General. Not that I frequent there, but the girl was like, that doesn't go there. And I'm like, she's all, I don't know where it goes. And I'm like, well, you know.
Wait. Clarify.
What are we talking about here? That's very confusing, Pete.
Pete,
I'm
I'm filtering a lot right now, and that's very hard for me to do.
Hey, I was just trying to help someone out, you know, being helpful.
Did you just do air quotes as you said that?
Dollars.
I did. You caught me.
Harry, hey buddy, how's it going,
Hey,
man?
Harry.
Right, we got the gang here. Just trying to be helpful.
Harry's Batman piece was so awesome. Did you see it?
No, I didn't. When was it?
It was on Instagram. It was really good, man. Like,
Was it?
really good?
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Yeah.
check it out. I'm trying to do better on Instagram. I actually, Clara and I were talking, and she was giving me advice on Instagram and stuff, and I actually reached out to Stephen Ballman and asked him, because I said, do you have any pointers? And he was nice enough to say, like, yeah, he, just to get in the habit of it, he would post every single day. He did it the last 4 years, and I said, all right, because I wasn't sure. I was like, do you post every day? I'm thinking to myself, I'm overthinking things. Of course, that makes sense, and you know what? It gets you in the habit, which is the most important thing, because my thing is I don't post enough. I'm not on it enough. I don't like social media that much. But that's something where it's a little bit different. It's not as bad as like Facebook or something, even though it's owned by the same. So I'm going to try to be on it more. And that's my goal, is to post daily. To do a daily post. I don't mind doing that.
But do you want to grow your Instagram more or your YouTube?
Both. You can do both at the same time.
Are you going to do more regular videos on YouTube?
Yeah, I am. So, Qualler, the whole point, the whole point of my class right now, the whole point is so I can do that. It's to get away from doing commissions. Not to say anything bad about commissions, it's just, it will free me up. And
You're pooping on my dreams.
Huh?
You're pooping on my dreams.
Pooping on them. Anyway.
Well,
No.
a whole lot of poop going on around here.
No, I'm actually everything I'm doing is so that I can do more videos. It really is. Like I'm writing scripts for them right now and stuff. So it's not like, because look, I need to speed up my production. I need to do that. But to do that, I need to open my schedule up. But to do that, it's taking a little bit of time to kind of get things going, and that's very important, right? Like you have to. I'm taking a couple steps back to jump forward, so it's slowing me down in the short run, but in the long run, it's going to enable me to do what I want to do with it. So it's kind of exciting. But
Bit of
huh?
chicken or the egg, right? It's kind of like chicken or the egg.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Do you guys
To
like
that.
chicken?
Yeah.
Do you guys like eggs?
We're,
Have you ever had
Sure.
eggs?
I'm scared to answer your questions, Pete.
But look, it's the all around answer to eggs and chicken. You like eggs? You like chickens? Perfect. No,
Yeah, I do.
you like
That
blue?
was a major flaw right there. That actually, this pine cone goes up. I put it literally right next to the skull. Okay, so y'all see how I'm doing. I'm blocking this in. It doesn't matter, like, getting, like, perfect technique right now. It's placing heights and widths, essentially, getting the relationships there. So this is about how it is. And so the pine cone kind of comes out like that. It's down.
Claire said
Crap.
you should have done Inktober if you want to post every day.
She's right. She's absolutely right. See, Claire, she gives me advice. She's very smart in that area, advertising. And because I'm not, and that's what she's studying. Her brain works a certain way. So, like, sometimes she'll send me these, like, really helpful information where she's kind of brainstorming, and it's very helpful to me to see how people think that way, because that's not my gift, right? It's hard for me to do that, partially because I do not like advertising myself or really promoting myself. I just don't like it. I like doing the work, and I like teaching people. That's what I like to do. But you have to, you got to do that stuff. You got to do it.
Welcome, Clara.
Is she in?
Yeah.
Hey, Clara.
It sounds like I'm in the future. I was listening to you.
All
Care to
right.
respond to Lewis's statement?
Harry, I want to see it. I do want to see it. Oiltober. I'll put the pieces. Oiltober. Yeah, it does say Oiltober, doesn't it? Thank you. Thank you, Quildarius. This is busy with commissions, so I get that. I couldn't. Thing is, I can post, but I can't do a lot of work for each post, if that makes sense. At right this moment. So y'all kind of get the idea of what's going on here.
I think commissions are not a good use of your time, personally, because the amount of money that you get from a commission isn't. You're not going to get what you could get out of it, I think.
Well,
I mean, you learn when you do commissions, so you do get that, and I mean, they do pay, I'm sure, a decent amount, but it's probably a lot of time that you have to invest.
It is. You
and
are
it's a
absolutely
one-time
right.
purchase. You're never going to get that purchase again.
So it depends on who it is. There's one gentleman who's gotten several pieces from me, and he pays what it's worth, and he pays the time.
That's true, but
so,
like each time you have to like put in the effort to make a new piece, though.
Yeah, you do. You definitely do. You have to put that effort in. But I agree, there are better ways. There are better ways of doing it. I will say that. And why am I?
Is selling prints or that kind of thing or merchandise, is that a good way to capitalize off a piece?
Clara.
It depends on your piece. I'm doing an artist market in November, and I'm thinking of making some prints. I don't know if my pieces are going to translate to good prints or not. But that is like it doesn't cost that much. Like even a high quality print, the most you can pay is like $5. It's way cheaper, and you can sell it for like 15 or 20, easy.
Right. That would be a way of continuing to make money off the work that you've already put in, right?
Yeah, that way you can get continued revenue without having to like spend an entire week painting something.
Yep. This thing keeps on getting caught. Yeah, I can tell you, like I said, classes, because when you start filling out, at first it's going to be more scarce. But you start filling classes, but also, I mean, you can do merchandise, which is a very good thing.
classes are a good way to go, and people come back to the same. Like once you fill it once, they're gonna come back.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And it's just at first, it's it's a little bit tricky filling them. But I'm looking at like even if I don't get a lot of people, it's still a good experience. It's still like I'm gonna break even at least on this, which is okay because I'll still get work out of it. I'll get the experience, and it'll be a stepping stone. So even if I don't meet all the goals with it that I want, we're good. Like that's how I'm looking at it right now. But it's a better strategy than just saying, hey, I'm painting and hopefully I get a commission. That's how it's been in the past, and that doesn't always work out.
Yeah, it's good money and it's a good way to practice and improve your skills to still do commissions. But...
Is it? Yeah, it's true. But you can, Clara, I'm telling you, if you meet the right people, you can get what it's worth.
Oh, I've done a few for my watercolor, and the cost for like watercolor is so small compared to oil.
Oh yeah.
Because a sheet of paper, like really high quality Arches paper, is like maybe $2.
Yeah.
And then the paints, like you can buy a really nice set for $70, and you can make infinite amount of paintings out of that.
Yeah.
So the cost for creating the piece is like not there, but the mental cost for me is very much there.
Yeah, I can see that. So here he's suggesting you look at Kingoshin's marketing techniques. He teaches still life paintings as small painting a la prima. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Right.
I follow him on Instagram too.
Do you really?
Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Goshen's pretty savvy.
If I follow him too. Okay. Let's
Lately,
fix
he's
this.
been posting things about his squirrels.
So here's the thing: we got to make sure that this is facing the right way, right? You want to get the impression of the proportions being accurate, and having the light effect proper, among other things that has to do with the proportions and just drawing in general. So that's going to affect how the direction we see things. That's what we're working on. I'm going to soften this edge here, make it fade up more. So this is the cobweb kind of coming down onto the skull. I don't need to necessarily draw every single detail, but this part kind of comes down, it wraps around, so it's kind of coming out that way just a little bit. So you gotta think sometimes the angles. You gotta just look at the hard angles. This is why bar drawing is so important. It kind of comes here and then it kind of falls down and then it kind of pushes out around it just a little bit and it wraps around. Those subtle angles are what's going to make this look like it's pushing forward naturally. It's what's going to make it look like the cobwebs are actually gripping the skull. And that's so important because that's one of the things that's so great about the setup. Okay, so we have this this isn't something right here, like these marks, I'm going to keep them very light just to indicate where the cobwebs are, just as an indicator here. And then I can also use that to judge distances, right? Because that is an important compositional element. It's not necessarily something you see when you squint down, however. All right, so keep in mind.
This is a really cool strategy.
Yeah. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Okay, there we go.
Claire, you used to do oil painting, didn't you?
Yeah, I did when I was in college. I didn't ever do it like this. I didn't do things right. I just kind of did things whatever I
Well, they don't really teach it in college like that correctly. They kind of, maybe it's not like a set curriculum, is it?
No, my teacher hated me because I was a marketing major that was taking my art classes, as my extra courses, and so I wasn't all in on the art dream. I wanted to be, but my parents couldn't pay for that.
Yeah.
So she wasn't real happy that I was there, kind of taking away from the people who were all in.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, that's kind of how college is set up. They make it so you have to take those credits. They make it possible for you to do that stuff, and then, I mean,
Well, it's weird because I had like a whole talk with her before I took the course, asking if it was okay, and she looked at all my art from high school and loved it. But I think she misunderstood and didn't realize that I wasn't going to be an art major.
I don't think she should have hated you for it, Clara. That's just my opinion, though.
I mean, she didn't.
Dream.
that's really funny.
You have so many aspirations.
I don't know. She was nice, like, but she definitely did like passive aggressive stuff. Like I had to. She was one of those teachers that like she gave like an assignment. And you have to do like 10 paintings, and she said based on your painting style and how quickly you work, and is going to determine the size of your paintings. And so she looked at my stuff, and I paint really fast. Like I get a lot of pieces done in a few days, and she hated that. She wanted me to spend like a long time, so she kept making my canvases bigger and bigger. She's like, "You're not spending enough time, so you got to make them bigger."
What kind of feedback is that?
I don't know. She also like this other painting series I did. She gave me this feedback and I have like this whole long story behind. Like I put my heart into it, which I can go into, but I'm scared.
Go. I want to hear it. Oh, by the way, Harry, let me read what Harry said because this is very helpful. And then I want to hear what you have to say, Clara. He just still life paints, small paintings, a la prima. Mixes the colors and shows his palette, then posts the color mixing part for free on his Instagram. This is Kingushin's on Instagram, his paintings. And then his painting techniques are paid and posts a time lapse of the painting itself on Instagram as a reel. He makes the most out of everything he does. That's smart. Also, the small still life paintings are fairly cheap, so he sells more. Also, he occasionally teaches portrait painting techniques for a higher price, but because he already has a trusted base of students, they come back for more pricey classes. Also, it's not just still life, it's master copies on a small scale. I hope this was helpful. It really was, and that's, that's a huge thing. It really is. He has it right. So, Clara, I want to hear your story.
Okay.
I was hoping you'd forget about it.
So when I was in high school, I did like the International Baccalaureate art program, which is pretty in depth, and you have to have 12 pieces that are linked in a theme, and to have a sketchbook to show like you building up on a theme, and like all your pieces need to be very well thought out. And so I was very used to like dealing with that kind of thinking or concepts. No paintings I ever made were just me painting something. I always had like a strategy, and it had something, like a theme that linked them all together.
Right.
So my theme for college that I was like really into is I really liked doing this mix of like having the foreground be like a silhouette kind of thing of like a portrait or a face.
Right.
And then the background be like a landscape that kind of overlaps it. And I thought that was kind of a fun look. So my theme was I had like 3 levels because I was in college during the time and I was kind of dealing with this a lot. But I had 3 like stages of life that I was trying to paint. And so the first stage was like a little girl, like kind of a portrait of a little girl. And then the background was like a forest, and it was supposed to represent kind of that adventure portion of your life where you're trying to seek out and explore about, and just trying to capture as much as you can. And
definitely.
The idea is that's not like necessarily that when you're young you do that, but that's like, I don't know. I was trying to categorize that as like a tone of like emotion that you sometimes go through when you're feeling more explorative.
Okay.
And then the second one was like kind of like a fashion kind of looking overlay, a portrait of a woman. And then in the back was like a desert and an oasis for the background. And it was supposed to be like how you can enter a stage in life where things are very hot and cold. and very extreme and dramatic, and you're either good or you're not, and things just feel very dramatic basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was like an older woman who was overlaid over an ocean, and it was supposed to kind of represent more of the like when you find calmness and serenity in life. So these aren't like, I'll have to admit, these aren't like groundbreaking concepts or anything, but I kind of put them in together in a more like thoughtful way.
Yeah.
And yeah, her feedback is that they look like Hallmark cards. And it killed me.
Maybe she was jealous of you. That happens sometimes.
Nah, maybe. I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. It was just, and she said she hated them. She said that she
Hated them.
They look like, yeah, she said, no, I hate them.
Constructive
She said that, all right. And then she called them Hallmark cards.
Okay, I can really work with this. Thank you.
Yes.
So you're saying I should go into Hallmark card making?
Yeah, I guess that's what she's saying. I don't know. She just...
Here come the big bucks.
She gave me no... And the worst part is she gave me no actual critique. I was like, what's wrong with them, or what do you not like? She's like, just the whole idea is wrong. They look like Hallmark cards. Like, everything... This is
How
just
was
very
her work?
bland.
How was her work?
I honestly don't remember. I don't know if she really did much. I mean, she mostly taught. But
She wore a beret and thought she was an artist. That was her work.
I mean,
I hate those people. Artist. Yeah, what do you do?
There are plenty of art teachers that exist like that.
Under my ass. It's on display in the museum. Sorry, that's how I feel about people like that. Like in the college setting.
It's because it's true.
They're
They've
like,
done it to themselves.
Shit pricks, and I'm like, get over it. Like, you don't even spend most of them don't even spend half the time to try and understand what's going on.
Oh, no.
They just have a degree, and they're like, oh, now I'm a professor, but I don't draw or anything. I just go around to art museums and pretend I'm special. I'm sorry.
That's why you go, is to watch people like that. It's so much. Seriously, I'm serious.
Right.
Go and just hang out in the corner and listen. That's a horrible thing, but it's true. Look, I go obviously for primarily for the art, but once I start getting bored, it's fun. Also, keep an ear out for that. It's very entertaining.
You know what's also fun?
Yeah.
The
Go
hors
on.
d'oeuvres.
The what?
Yeah.
The hors
Hors
d'oeuvres.
But I hear this a lot about art schools, this kind of pretentious attitude, and also here in Europe, it's like the same, where they don't even want you to, draw something that looks like something.
They don't even want you there. They just want you not there.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, actually.
I mean, teaching's fine if it wasn't for all the damn students, right?
Yeah, we need less.
Yeah.
I
Competition.
think we spend more money by getting rid of you dumb dummies.
Another
actually
bold strategy. Huh?
I'm gonna download these pieces and drop them in the Discord, and I
Let's
would
see.
actually like to hear if you think they look like Hallmark cards or not.
Okay.
I know they're not great because this is early Clara oil painting, so be kind.
Yeah, so Louis, don't say anything.
Hey! What's that supposed to mean?
But this is why a lot of people are going online for their education now, because they're just tired of this kind of nonsense.
It is. There's a lot of ego out there. And there's no ego here.
It comes with the territory, Luz. But I, you like how I threw in that Kevin Nealon technique?
Yeah.
What?
No, I missed that, Pete.
Nobody knows that technique.
I missed it.
Never mind.
Really quick, one quick lesson. Let me bring you up to speed on what's happening here. This explosion of greatness is unfolding before y'all's very faces. All right?
Yeah, I see it.
Brought to you by my own genius. All right, so I turned the skull a little bit, just throwing layers down. I'm looking at the large shapes. I am squinting down a lot, but I'm trying to understand, you know, like I'm trying to make everything flow and turn. So I'm really using the brow here, the eye sockets. I've turned the skull a little bit so you can see the center points kind of going this way. And you have this point here. And then when I want to, all right, so you kind of notice how this is soft here, but this is a little bit, I don't know if you can tell, this is sharper. So if you take your thumb, press it up, like really press this, you know, take your thumb, press it up into this, and then kind of push and put your thumbnail into it, you can kind of put a sharper mark there. Do you see? And you can get a nice piece. If you want to fade it out, you know, you can do that. You can kind of fade it out and then just use kind of the bottom of your thumb to get what you want. So this is, I'm just shaping the light shapes. I'm trying to see this as a shape here, and this is kind of coming down, but it's catching about right here. But this is going at like such an angle. It's kind of going, it's not, you'd think it's coming down and then out like that, but it's not. It's kind of, and this, so this might need to shift over. I think this needs to go over that way, but I'm working with the big shapes. I'm working on the skull first because it is the centerpiece. I have it placed where I want it to be placed. It could come up a little bit, but I'm going to see how it works here. Rembrandt oftentimes would have like, if you look at his paintings, you'd have a scene, it would be down here, and then there'd just be dark going up, and it still works. So it doesn't always need to be balanced. You don't want it dead in the center, but you want it offset just a little bit because in the center is boring. Okay, but it's okay if there's going to be some shadow up there. There's enough room for the tree at the top, and it's going to fade down. So I'm taking the light effect in as I place the objects to how it's going to look compositionally. So essentially working on the composition, trying to get the proportions, trying to understand the anatomy of the skull, which I know is probably off a little bit. This thing's everything's a little bit off, but that's okay. We're placing it, and then we can slowly constrict and start adjusting the proportions. There, boom, that's it.
You're basically laying out battle plans.
The battle plan, right? Just like the setup. The setup, what did we do? We just said, okay, what do I feel like doing? We started very general. There were a lot of options. And then I put this thing, briefly I had the setting up there, right? Briefly I had the candle, which I don't know where the candle is right now, but I had the candle up there. And then slowly we constrict and we decide what we want. That's the same thing with the drawing, but you got to keep it flexible and loose. We didn't start with the cobwebs at first, right? We started with just laying out the main objects. If I put the skull in and started messing with the cobwebs, well, then you have to move the big picture and the cobwebs get messed up and you've wasted all that time with the cobwebs. That's the same, that's an analogy to detailing. We're not worrying about the proportions totally right now. If you get them in there, great. The quicker you get them in, the better. But you don't want to be spending all your time trying to work little details and this and that. You just want to get the big shape, make it make sense with the whole, and then start, you know, going down and tightening up the work some. That is the plan. And it looks good on the stream. And that's it. Done. And Randall, it is by following different artists on YouTube, you will notice the various ways they try to monetize their videos. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, my whole point is I like these streams because I get to teach you guys this stuff. I can put classes on, which will enable me to do this stuff, but it's still doing a really huge service. We get really in depth with things, but you'll still learn all that stuff if you watch the streams. So, because I want everybody to be able to benefit. I don't want them to have to pay an arm and a leg to get an education with this stuff. And I want to be able to do YouTube videos that make people laugh and really teach at the same time, which I need to improve on. So that's the direction I'm going with this. You know,
I personally like the stream more than the videos. I mean, the videos are nice, but
yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I'm one of those that I feel like content is becoming more and more shorter, and you have to pay attention to it. And if it doesn't make it past your attention span, then you look for something else.
Exactly.
I like the opposite direction, where I like a lot of content that I don't have to pay too much attention to, that I can have kind of going in the background while I do art.
Yep, that's the best, and you're absolutely right. Like said to myself, okay, I'm going to try to do videos between about 6 and 7 minutes. Just because I'm going to do that. And it might get longer later. But at first, when you're first starting, people aren't going to watch a nobody for 15, 20 minutes necessarily. I don't know. Maybe they will. I don't know.
Look at my neighbor. Creepy lady.
Okay. And this
What?
this needs to drop some. What? Wait, yeah. What did you say, Pete? That needs to drop some points.
I said, no, what does it feel like nobody's watching me? And I said, except for my neighbor. She's a creepy lady.
Except for so your neighbor just.
Shorts. I got these shorts for you. You should try them on. You come right here. You could just try them on right here.
How old is she?
Probably like in her 60s.
Oh no.
You like dad bod, huh?
So does she watch you for more than 20 minutes or less?
Well, if it's more than 20 minutes, I usually charge. That's about the time I'm done.
Stupid. Oh, that's good.
Neighbors are the worst.
So bitter and mean.
There you go, Clara.
Go on, Clara.
That was how you
Continue.
really feel.
Well, we had a really bad neighbor who lived below us who literally like left us this nasty message because leaves landed in her patio. It was like it was in the fall on a windy day, and she left us a message saying, "You gotta not have leaves fall down onto my patio."
Wow.
Well,
So yeah.
That's ridiculous.
back in the day, I remember somebody did that to my dad, and he was like, "It's like I'm not gonna put up with this shit." He was like, "What leaves are your leaves, and what leaves are my leaves, huh? Those are your trees right there, blowing into our yard. You want to come and pick them up?" You know. So that's the thing. Like people get upset about trees and leaves and all this stuff, but it goes both ways, man.
Leave my trees alone.
So yeah, Randall says we appreciate the details. Some vids don't show the finishing stages of the, or wait, some vids don't show the finishing stage of the painting. They block it out and then it's finished. How did they get there? Yeah, it's the process, right? It's the process.
Magic.
What?
Magic.
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 It's magic.
They don't show the raw, unbridled chaos.
Which is what, what exactly? They don't show the artist on the ground with one shoe on their foot, trying to muster the energy to go forward, not just in painting but in life, because they can't get that one stupid proportion correct. They don't show that part. They don't show him overcoming it.
They always show those videos
With
of
no
them
pants
doing
on.
like the little like highlights or like line work at the very end after the piece is pretty much done.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I just got here. I just got to this point.
It's like the eyelash, you know, like the final eyelash.
Oh yeah, that
So-
was like some little highlight or something.
So here
Yeah.
we are. We're just gonna put some quick lines in to start the drawing. And okay, now here's the eyelash. All right.
I'm going to show you drawing tips and techniques.
But you have to start with like and sub. The very
Yeah.
first thing you say is like and sub.
Yeah, if you want your video to do well, you need to add an eyelash to the skull at the end.
Just show them how to paint the highlight. This is what's called an ocular. No. Sorry.
That actually looks pretty cool. That looks really cool, actually.
Thank you.
Well, you'll see what I did in a second.
Oh, yeah,
a
I
little
see it
blind.
now.
Yeah, it's because you guys hear it. You guys hear it, and so you hear it directly, whereas everybody else is hearing slight delay. And it makes sense.
Great looking eyelashes. Make sure you
Oh,
get a
that's
nice close up video of that.
Totally ruined the impression. But hey, watch, I can fix this.
Let's wait like 15 seconds.
Ah, I see the fixing now.
Yeah.
See it? Wondering if I could do it.
All right, I
No,
gotta go,
love
guys.
All right,
gotta go.
Quildarius. See you,
See
buddy.
you next time.
All right, man. Thanks for coming.
Sorry, I didn't post the thing. Here, let me do that.
What are
so
you
you
gonna do?
guys can see.
Huh, Pete?
I'm sorry I didn't post the thing. You can look at it later.
Okay.
Well,
Hi, Quildar. I think he left. He couldn't wait to get out of here. He doesn't have anywhere to go. He's just gonna go watch Netflix.
Netflix and chill, man. By
I
myself.
would not blame him. It is late over there. At the end of the day, he comes. Don't tell him I paid him a compliment. But he comes and he spends time here. That's really huge because he could go.
What time is it there?
I think over there it's probably around 8 o'clock. What time is it right now? It's 1. I think we're 6 hours or
It's
7 hours.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Yeah.
According to Google, when I typed in Holland time.
It's from Holland, the Netherlands. Okay. All right. So I got the skull roughly blocked in. I'll fix that up. It doesn't need to be picture perfect here, but let's go ahead and get the spooky tree in. Okay. Okay. I really hate how I say Valley Girl. Okay. I'm always like,
Valley
okay.
Girl. Oh, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Is that a movie?
Valley Girl?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? How old are you, Lewis?
I'm only 21.
Yeah, huh?
I wish I was 21, man. I was 21. I was saying I was old. I was like, I can't believe I'm not a teenager anymore. So
I
old.
wish.
And 22 is about the age when you stop wanting to have birthdays.
22 is?
Yeah, because every birthday after that is not as exciting. Maybe, I mean, your insurance goes down, but
When you have to start thinking about insurance, your birthdays aren't as exciting.
nope.
There you go, kids. There's Lewis. Quickly draw.
Oh, that's so good.
Ah, I'm gonna post that in this chat really
He's
quick.
got a nice sway to him. I like the gesture.
All right, here's. I'm gonna post this in Discord. Can I post it in Discord, Pete? Not Discord. In the stream really quick. Or not? Do you want to just keep it in Discord? Pete? Wait a second. Hey, can y'all hear me? Wait a second. Harry? 1 second. Out. So I think the stream just went. I think I need to restart Discord is what's happening here. Give me a sec. Sometimes that happens.
Oh, you kicked Pete out.
There we go. Did I kick Pete out?
Yeah.
It's because his drawing wasn't good enough, right?
Did I kick him out? No, he did that to himself. Hey, Pete. I had to restart
Yeah.
Discord. Can I post that in the stream? Can I show people?
Yes,
Let me show people what
absolutely. I said go ahead.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I couldn't hear you guys. Browse. There you go.
Since I've been screwing off and not doing what I should be doing, now I should probably get down to what I should be doing.
Second.
What do we work on, guys?
There.
The long pose or the caster one?
Let me really quick, and then I'll get right back to this. I want to show you guys what Pete did. And this is my pose.
You didn't know that Lewis was a poser.
Shut your fat face.
Such a poser. What's such a poser?
Such a poser.
Actually, you are. You're a pretty good model. Are you going to model
Thank
for
you.
yourself?
It just seems very narcissistic, but I do it because I didn't have another model to do it from. But I actually have a very good model for the class.
I'm not bashing you by any means. I was just kidding. But
This is good. All right.
you are.
Good job. This is a nice block in. Basic block in there.
Yeah, that's about as. I don't even think I got into edges. So
That's all right.
How long did it take you to draw it? Like 5
He
minutes?
started when he started the stream. I was trying to get in.
Oh, you did this during the stream, like as you were waiting. This is a quick sketch.
Well, no, like when you started and we were talking, and I was like, I'm getting my act together this morning,
Right.
even though it's past noon. What was I doing? I was right after I got on. I started doing that, and then I went on to the Discord. I was messing around with the Discord stuff.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Follow me.
Yeah.
And then now I've just been screwing around trying to figure out what I should do today. Though I know that I have things to do. Follow me?
I follow you. So
how long did you take
Harry,
exactly to paint? Draw them? Sorry.
No, probably like 30 minutes.
it's pretty good.
Okay,
Nice
this is
blocking.
pretty good for 30 minutes.
Harry's like, okay, this is good, because if it was longer, it would
I
suck.
approve.
Yeah.
Like I
That's
think maybe a little longer, maybe like 35 minutes just to get
Right.
in like some of the shadow shapes and like just to kind of put that in, but
Still pretty
I
good.
just scribbled it in. I mean, I wasn't taking time with anything. It's my warm up, so I want to get my hand and eye warmed up as fast as possible
That is
so
awesome.
I can start working.
That is awesome. Good job, man. I like that. Yeah, so all those pictures, they're still available. I'm going to keep them available. They're reference photos for you guys, so y'all can use them whenever you want. In this one, this photo that I have of the skull is actually linked in the description below. It is linked. All right, so we'll work that out. We'll work all these details out. Let's get back to the tree. So, all right, so for the tree, what I'm looking at this, I'm looking at a lot of negative space, and then I'm also thinking to myself, okay, this distance right here, I'm trying to superimpose what I see from the still life over onto the board from back there where I'm standing. I'm trying to keep in mind where it is and get that correct. And this part right here, so this should be probably about right here. So I'm going to check this width, I'm going to check this width, and I'm going to check this width, and they all have to line up, right? So you got to do this, you got to do that. And so that's kind of what I'm working with. Now, again, this is going to be more of a creative piece. So it's okay. I'm not going to spend all day trying to get the proportions on this. Okay, it's not necessary, but you do want to get as close as you can because there is a beauty in it being natural. If you start making up stuff, you're going to start compromising little proportions. It's going to show in your work. All right, so I think if you're first starting, I would recommend, especially if you're doing it academically, you're trying to improve, do not try to be creative with the work. You don't want it to be artistic. You just want to copy it straight up, right? But later on, once you get a little bit more versed and, your brain grows closer to my size, which is a gigantic brain, you're able to be a little bit more free and loose with your work and artistic and really inspire people, make them cry. This stuff happens naturally with stuff, even though this is going to be a skull, it's going to look, it's going to be a Halloween still life.
Lewis is gonna still make grandmothers cry.
I'll make grandmothers cry here.
Old ladies.
Old ladies. That's our goal.
Is to make babushkas cry.
We're trying to make old ladies cry. What is wrong with that little thing? What is?
Does the tree have a face and arms?
Damn right it does, Clara.
Oh, I didn't notice that till now. It's just how much I pay attention.
See, all these little things, you can look for ages on my work, and you will not find all the details that I so effortlessly set up within the first 5 seconds. That's how quick my brain works, how expansive it is. All
I
right?
thought it was just a spooky tree, but it's like a really spooky tree.
It's a really spooky tree, except it's smiling. I'm going to make it spookier by turning that smile upside down and putting sharp teeth on it. Rip your
that'd be
ass.
cool.
Yep.
So that's when the creativity and making me cry comes in.
That's just a portion of it, Clara. It's a little tidbit. It's a morsel of what I have in store for you.
Eat something. Be back.
All right, so here's another thing. Like, you gotta have everything relating to one another, and so let me show you something. This is a plumb line, and I highly recommend that. I don't know where it is. I highly recommend that you use them, because essentially what they do is, I don't know where it is. Where is it? It doesn't matter. Okay, a plumb line is essentially a piece of string tied to a bolt, and that bolt you can kind of hang, and you can use a string and do this and that with it. You can also use a brush if you want, right? But so what I'm going to be looking at is, so this part of his arm right here, this is called the elbow. All right, his elbow, when we plumb line across, it's very simple. Like, I could be going through saying, okay, I think the elbow's here, but relate it to where you have on the skull. The skull we strategically placed, right? We started with the bottom, we went to the top, then left and right. We place the skull where we want the skull to be, but we have to have the elbow relating to the skull. So if I plumb line straight over, so the elbow goes pretty much around right here to the skull. If this is correct, right? It's a domino effect. If this is not correct, as opposed to this width, if this height and width are not correct, and if it's not the same size, since I'm doing size, if this needs to go down some, then perhaps this needs to go down some too. So we need to relate these. So it's good to do a horizontal plumb line over. You can do it also with verticals, right? So for example, with his other hand, should be right over. Okay, so the left side, our left of his hand, should be passing through about right here. Okay, so that's how, let me get my brush back. So if it's passing through about right here, this is where his hand should be. So then this is where his elbow should be, about yay high right here. Okay, and let's mark how high this hand should be. Okay, so we're going to start from the top of the skull. We're going to go up, and it's going to be probably somewhere around here. I mark, and then I go through and I'll double check it. Don't just mark it and then just be like, okay, that's it. Next one. Don't do that. All right, so it is probably about right here. I'm just dropping it just a little bit. About right there, the light shape. Now, at what angle are the hands? They're not like this, they're like this. Okay, so we're going to use a couple points of reference on this. Number one, we have two options. We can either just go across, which I kind of do. I kind of go across here and I say, okay, it's at such an angle, it's kind of dropping down just a little bit. Because if I bring this over horizontally, this hand goes through about right here. So that's the top of the hand. But it also has to make sense with this distance. Do you see that? So we're getting this proportion correct. This, so you can kind of see a square here. So like, and this is good in figure work too, where figures move. You know, since we set poses up like this, right? So, but if you did, this would move. But if you had to get it really quick, you can do a box right there. You can relate the elbows, relate the hands to each other, and do the diagonals. And so also another thing you can do, if this is, okay, it's going to be about this wide here, and we can do this width. And all of it has to line up, right? All of it has to line up. And that's a hard one to see. But obviously I don't have any, ow, son of a, stand in our space here, drop a plumb line down, and drop a plumb line down. Actually, this goes over just a little bit. Some more paint. This actually goes over just a little because I see it going through here. Now, here's the thing. I have to keep in mind, this might not be correct because I'm moving this around. So this is kind of ballparking. All this stuff, that's why we're doing basic blocking. All right, so we're relating this. If this is what I'm saying, you don't have to draw it, but That's what I'm looking at right there. And then this is what I'm looking at. And again, you don't need to draw everything. Like, there are lines that I tap, right? I'm like, okay, this line, this line. I put it in so you guys can see visually, like, what I'm, thinking. You can visualize what I'm thinking. So does that make sense? Like, you have to get points in this, you have several different points to measure off of, but you have to keep in mind the accuracy or inaccuracy of what points you're measuring off of too, because they all relate to each other. And that's how you're going to get proportions within the shapes and proportions within the whole composition correct. And it's a juggling act, which is why we keep it simple. That's why bar drawings are so important. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Relating everything to each other.
Exactly. See, that's the thing is that a lot of people, and rightfully so, do not understand that art is a very practical, or actually this type of art is very practical. It's very ABCD, right? It's very rational. You have to rationally put down correctly by measuring everything off each other. You have to see things properly. It's not all about expression, though we can put that into it. Expression comes in once you get comfortable with this, right? But you have to, this is the stepping stone to expression. If you can accurately represent what you're looking at, you can better express yourself. That's what a lot of artists, abstract artists have forgotten. That they're like, oh, you got to express yourself. If I do things realistically, it's going to kill the work and it's just dead. And those aren't artists, they're just copiers, but they don't know how to accurately represent reality. And so they're undervaluing reality and thereby discarding a major tool in something they could use to express themselves. Like their work would be pushed forward significantly if they learned from nature, if they were able to get nature, and then they could bend it how they want to express themselves. So that's one of the beauties. Like, you can be more expressive once you know how to work.
Well, yeah, this is like you said, a tool, and it's something that you can also use to double check your work if something looks off.
Exactly.
Like, it's something, if you go through the process of learning how to do this, it's easier for you to see and know what looks right and get to that quicker.
Exactly.
More accurately.
That's very well put, Claire. You're absolutely right. That is it. That is it.
Well, I actually have to go.
Okay.
But
time is it anyway?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, and
thank you,
for
Clara.
sharing everything.
I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much for spending time with us here. Really appreciate it. Get your work done. I really like your posts, by the way. Your Inktober. Can you guys still hear me in Discord?
Yep.
Good, okay. Excellent. Cool. I'm going to keep this on for about another 7 or 8 minutes, and we're going to call this stream. So to get this thing done, I'll probably have to work on this outside of y'all seeing it, but I'll try to record some of this stuff so you still get to kind of see what's going on here. But it's worth taking your time in the very beginning, at least, to get these shapes, right? This is so important to get these shapes correct.
So is this piece going to be alla prima? Yours.
No, it's not going to be alla prima. I might do a couple sessions on it. Yeah, might do a couple sessions. I did, like, that skull I did a long time ago that was a year ago, alla prima. It was one skull. One skull is easier to do, but when you have a composition of elements in here like this, and it's not just that. I could do an alla prima with it. It would have some inaccuracies, but I want, I have an idea of how I want the painting to look. I don't mind spending some time on it. I can't spend forever on it because I don't really have a lot of the time. I have another commission that I am working on a significant amount right now. So, excuse me. Oh. Yeah, this is going to be a good painting here. So what I'm looking at is the cobwebs, and I'm going to be doing the tree around it. I'll paint the tree and then I'll bring the cobwebs up, bring the light up. That's what I'm going to do, but I'm marking where the cobwebs are because it's such a major compositional element in this work. Just squinting down, I'm just trying to see the big, big, big shapes. I'm not trying to worry about the effect that I'm making quite yet. So there we go. That's it. And you know, you got to keep in mind too. I mean, I could go all day kind of correcting this, like in the paint or the monochrome like this. But also one of the things that I do in paint is when we lay the values down, I'm going to be constantly correcting these shapes. But I want to get this in the ballpark as much as I can. That is the goal with this. I want to get this in the ballpark, because if I can get this in the ballpark, my job when I start actually laying down values and taking more things into consideration, my job is going to be much, much easier. It's something very important. Cut my fingernails, so it's hard to get the mark that I want.
God, there are more of them now than there have ever been.
Do what?
There's more ladybugs now than there have ever been.
Oh no.
They're like flying in front of me. I can't draw.
Ladybugs?
Yes, lady beetles.
Are they lady beetles or bugs? They're ladybugs?
They're actually beetles.
So
They're a true form of a beetle.
So they actually kill gnats and stuff though too, I think.
Yes, no, they're wonderful. They're completely harmless. But these, an overwhelming majority of these beetles that we have in the United States are actually Asian.
Are they really?
They came over. They tried to solve a problem with aphids a long time ago, sometime in, I want to say, the early 1900s, and yeah, it went overboard, and now we're stuck with them, and they kill the natural I want to say what's the word I'm looking for? Original lady beetles that were here.
Like the original ecosystem that was here before. Oh, yeah. We had ladybugs before?
I say that we had something of that, but I don't, from what I understand, I don't think they're indigenous to the area. Like they were only indigenous to a certain area in America.
Oh.
Or I should say in the Americas.
I think kudzu was like that too, right? Kudzu was from, wasn't it from Asia?
What is that?
Kudzu is like, isn't it that vine that like grows up? You know, it's like constricts trees and stuff, and it's almost like a weed that wraps around trees. I'm pretty sure it is. But let me say what I'm doing right here, because this is important. So I'm trying to get an impression of this tree, and being that I can be a little bit loose with it, I'm not going to worry so much. I am going to worry, but I'm not going to worry so much about the proportions. Instead, I'm going to try to get the impression. So I'll give you two ways I could work this up. Number one is to outline it kind of like I did here, and work at the outlines, and then kind of bring the shadow into it. Another way of doing it is kind of basically outline it, which I kind of have here, and then go over it in a light shade, and then pull out, bring the light up, like Caravaggio-esque style, right? I'm choosing the latter. I'm choosing to do it that way. It's good to learn how to do things differently. I could do the skull the same way. The reason why I didn't is because predominantly the skull is bright, it's whiter, right? So this is darker, so it makes sense to bring the dark down and then bring the light up with it. Because then you can like kind of like I did with a hand here. I can start carving in. I have it basically blocked in here, okay? But that's kind of the idea behind the construction of this. You can strategically construct, you know, these areas. Okay, so I'll give you an example here. Okay, so I'll mark this here, and then I'm going to put this here, block this in, and let's bring the shadow down slowly. So what I do, I got fresh paint on the brush, okay, and then with the fresh paint, when I had a lot on it, I marked spots where I wanted to be deep and dark. Once I got that paint off, the brush was dry enough to go over it like this. Now on this side, there's a little bit more paint. So if I did that, you see it would come off more. So I can bring it off the side, and then once it's dry, I can bring this in here and slowly fade this down. Okay, so you kind of try to keep in mind how much paint you have on your brush, and you have 2 or 3 sides of the brush depending on how you're wielding it. All right? So you're thinking of not just, I have paint on my brush, but what side do I have paint on my brush? How much medium do I have on my brush as opposed to paint? Right? The more medium, the smoother it's going to go down, but it's going to be a little bit thinner. Right? So that's kind of the idea behind it. All right. So I'm going to end the stream probably in about 2 or 3 minutes. Let's try to throw this tree in really quick. All right. So this is a challenge. I don't recommend doing this. Let's throw the tree in really fast. Okay. So this, I have the paint on my brush. Let's go through, work the edges. Step back. Look. I'm looking at this distance right here. I'm going to fill this in. Like that. Okay. That's a shape right there. Shadow shape. And then this is kind of coming down like that. Okay. And then we have the trunk of the tree there. And it kind of comes in something there. That trunk needs to go up a little bit. I see this shape here kind of coming that way. I'm going to bring the trunk up some. This is stuff that I can shift. Okay. Okay. Here. Alright, so if this is here, then this actually comes up just a little bit because this tree's receding some. I'm going to slowly bring this value down here just a little bit. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit more paint, put it thinly on the brush, step back. I'm going to start a little bit in the background just to get some of the paint off. And then I'm going to go over this part right here and bring this down. And I'm also taking the paint from either side and moving it in. This is the sculptural effect of paint. What I mean by that is that in paint, start thinking about sculpturally, like it's a 3-dimensional layer on top of a surface. So you can actually move it around to some degree, right? So think of it like clay. There you go. So bring that down. And then at this point right here, you can start shaping it. So we have here, going like that. Okay. I'm looking at this shape here, which mine is like, it's too wide. I think the top needs to go down some, but definitely this part needs to come in that way just a little bit. So I'm going to bring this in some, kind of using a combination of the tip of my finger and the bottom fleshy part of it. Switch to my left hand, and I'm going to work the top accordingly as well. And so this is just a balancing act, right? So say I bring this down too far. I'm like, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. Go through. I'm actually pushing some of the paint up, but let's get a little bit more paint. Brush, and you can shape it out as such. So even right now, like even if you go over this dark area right there and say you need to bring some of that light out, you can do that. Do you see? And then you can make whatever shape you want. It's kind of like you're drawing, right? We can make a shape there. Since that's not there, we'll just go back over it. And if you really care, you can smooth that out some, which I don't care. But so this is what we do. So now we're working with darks and lights. So once I place the tree in properly, I can bring this down in shadow, like a little bit darkness, more darkness here. All right, and then kind of shape this. Kind of go back and forth with it. So you guys get the idea. And so we'll be working with, I'll be correcting this skull, be working on this width, this width, this width, this width, this width, this width. All these have to relate, okay? And what we do in the process, we lost elbow. So we just bring it back in, okay? It's kind of how we do it. We just correct the shape. Just correct shape. This is how, you see, that's how we work with it. And so I'm using black and red, very transparent color. There's no white in it. And then we have beautiful cloth. And that's it. Well, guys, that is going to be it for now. I have to get going with stuff. I am going to continue on this. I'll probably get some stuff done on it before next stream. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not quite sure about that yet. But if I do, I'll get some recording done on it. I am going to put this into a video, make a video of it. My goal is to make a video before Halloween. That's a huge if, though. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. So I want to, but I have so much stuff I got to do. This is my favorite type of stuff, though, to do. I really enjoy this. That and portraiture. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Pete, Harry, you guys are awesome.
Sorry that there's someone outside.
Go for
Probably
it.
my neighbor smoking or something.
That's all right. Guys, I'm going to end the stream here, and Lara's stream is tomorrow at 11 or 12. She might be doing 12. I don't know.
Cool.
But I'm going to try to make it tomorrow. I wasn't able to last time. But you guys, thank you so much for being here. And
Thanks for having us.
y'all take care. I'll see you.
Take care.
Yeah.